filter building time.
This is gonna suck.
I gotta somehow get to the bottom of this
to be able to do up the bulkheads.
So that's the hard part, is getting that down on the inside and out the hole. So use a very heavy spanner with a bit of string through, all the way up and out the top. And then you just feed the bulkhead on and slide it all the way down to the bottom, and then you can just use your fingers to maneuver it through. And there's enough meat there to hold it to tighten it up. Whew, that wasn't fun. All right, that's one down. How to get this stuff down the bottom. Bit of string, all the way down through the hole, pull it tight, and you can jimmy it down into position. A little bit of jiggling, but it works.
So this part here is the intake for the filter. So the pump takes the water from the pond and pushes it in through the bottom of this massive filter unit in through this piece of pipe, which will then filter up through all the filter media in order for it to overflow. So I'm just doing a bit of a dry fit here on the outside just to make sure I've got the height relatively correct, because once I get on the inside and try and glue it, I'm only going to really have one shot at doing it before the glue dries, and if I get it wrong, well, it's going to suck. So yes, I managed to get it in and get it to go where it needs to go.
We're going to use the old one. We're just going to recycle it because whoever put it on originally didn't really know how to put it on properly, and that's okay. I can work with that. It's a fairly clean hole here to work with now, so we'll get that piece fitted and then we will get this moved out into position. Right, filter's all plumbed up out the front. We're going to bring it around now. It's going to be fun. I've got to get it over the pool fence, drop it into here, and then drop it over into that back corner. Now, this current sand filter that's sitting here, it'd be a lot easier if I could just move that out of the way, but that is actually full of media all the way up. So to save having to move 200 kilos of media from there into buckets to then have to put back into the top of the other filter, I'm just going to do it the hard way and put the filter over the back, get it in position, and then move all the media from this straight into the new filter. That way it's a lot less double handling, and then I can pull this easily out of the way. All right, it's going to be fun trying to do this by myself, but let's give it a go. Huge shout out to my wife for giving me a hand to get this filter into position. It was a bit hard to manage it by myself, so thank you very much, honey. Many hands make light work. Alright, I got it into position. I just need to level it now. Once that's leveled and plumbed in, or at least partly plumbed in, I can start getting this other filter that's in the way. Okay, so we've got the UV sitting there just for now. It's going to plumb up into here. Only problem is that's 40 mil, that's 50 mil, so I've got to go and get a 40 to 50 mil reducer now, but that's okay. So it'll pump through the UV, come up, pool heater will sit here and we'll go into the pool heater, which will then overflow back into the pond. But until that's all ready, I can at least still use this. Put in the new bulkhead extension up to a T-piece, which that's tap valve turned off, and one-way pressure valve, so when the power does turn off, there'll be no back siphoning. Whew, it's taken all afternoon. But yeah, it's getting there. That's half full of media now, it's up to there. I've just got to clean all the scoria now and redo the last bit. Got to do the overflow back in tomorrow. I get that water out of there. I've got to pressure wash this and scrub this. I at least want to get this like quarter full of water, so it's just cycling the filter at least, just so it's moving. Because things with poly tanks is you don't want to leave them empty for too long, because they can become brittle, especially when they've had water in them for so long. But yeah, we're getting there. Finally have the filter in place. All the internal plumbing is done. It's about up to here with media. It's got about 200 kilos of clay ball media in there. So we've got all the scoria rock and crushed coral rock to rinse and put in there yet. But the pump is in, the T-piece is in, the one-way stop valve's in. The UV is currently sitting here so I can figure out how I'm going to do that. At least I can still run the pump independently of that now, because that's why it's got the T-junction there and the ball valve. The new intake's done. Now this pond is actually meant to be a centre draining pond. So normally I have the intake just here because it looks a lot neater, but I've done an extension pipe on it down to here for now. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave it like that or not. Pump is all plumbed in into the filter, goes across to a T-valve which comes through the UV, which this will eventually go into a pool heater which is going to go here, but until that arrives I've just hooked it up as a bypass to go back into the pond. It's all done. That is just over halfway full of media. I've got a little bit more media to put in there, but it's all ready to do some testing on it now to make sure it's all working and running properly. Pretty stoked with how it's starting to turn out. All the driftwood's bolted in place. A little bit of water in there. Pretty stoked. But as you can see, it's 3/4 full now. Everything's in position. Everything's working how it should. This is about as far organised as I can possibly get it at this present moment in time. Now we just got to wait for it to do the cycling process, which we're going to take anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks before it's able to have fish in it. So that's okay. Can do a few more fine-tuning adjustments on it, but it's all done to the point that it's operational. Loving the overflow system that I've set up there. So much water movement, heaps and heaps of oxygen coming in there. Driftwood's all set up. We're going to start doing the plants now across the top. Probably going to go for philodendrons, I think, which is what this plant is here. I've got a couple more of these nice reddy coloured ones that I want to put over the top of this. So yeah, eventually, once they get established and they're growing, they'll cover that whole top section of driftwood, so you won't be able to even see the filter. But everything else is working really well. There was no leaks or anything this morning, thank God. I can't turn the UV sterilizer on yet, obviously while the pond is cycling, because that will also kill beneficial bacteria while it's trying to get established. So the water in here might go a little bit green over the next couple of weeks, but that's okay. That's perfectly all right. It's just all part of the cycling process. It'll soon clear up. We've left enough room here for the pool heater to go in, and then I can plumb the UV into the pool heater, which will then return back into here. And then I can start making the cover shelter box that has to go here to cover everything, so it's not all sitting out in the weather being fully exposed. But that's the pond for now. Next update will be in about 6 weeks' time when we start to test the water and check and make sure it's safe and everyone can start moving in. We've got some special fish coming for this, so the fish species we've got coming for this is barramundi. That's why it's going to be called the barramundi billabong. We're going to have a platinum barra and a golden barra and our normal standard colour phase barra in here. We're also going to move our Queensland lungfish into this pond as well. We're going to add some mangrove jacks and some fork-tailed catfish as well. So this pond is going to look pretty damn good when it's finished. Now once it's all established and the plants have started to grow, I'm actually going to put some aquatic plants in here as well that the lungfish won't eat, like Java fern. I'm going to attach it down on this driftwood here where it gets a bit of sun, and hopefully with any luck it'll grow quite well. It's just going to look absolutely awesome under the water when you're looking back up under the root banks under there. That'll have all this greenery attached to it, and you'll see all the fish swimming around, and it's just going to look awesome. I just can't wait. But you guys are going to have to wait a few months before that actually comes to light and you actually get to see it. But we're at the starting point. We're over the halfway mark of getting this operational. I can't wait. Hopefully it'll be nice and established like this pond. This is our son's 14,000 litre freshwater native fish and turtle pond. He's got some sawshell turtles and broadshell turtles in here, and he's got sooty grunter, spangled perch, and a big Saratoga in here that goes by the nickname Sabertooth because it's got very large teeth and it does bite. It's bitten my hand a couple of times. But this pond is well established. I don't ever do water changes on this pond. All I ever do is top the water up when it evaporates, and I back flush the biofilter. Maybe once every 6 months I'll do a bit of a drain on it, and that's it. And that's all I do. This whole system is pretty self-sustaining, and that's why I absolutely love setting these style of ponds up, because it's just such easy, less maintenance things to look after than big saltwater outdoor ponds. And being native fish to the area, they can handle weather extremes for the most part. But yeah, stay tuned guys, and next video I'll do will be the fish actually going into this pond. I hope you found this video informative. If you guys want any more information, don't hesitate to shoot me a message or reach out on my Instagram. But if you guys could like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Any support that you guys can do to help grow the channel is great. Stay tuned guys for any further updates. See you next time.